So, the IJN Atago, it's finally your turn. After so many people asked for you, you get your guide, but don't think that you're anything special. I mean, you have way too many skins already, and you are even in World of Warships, and to that I have you as a commander there, and let's not even start talking about all the not family friendly sites. Yeah, I might have fallen into a deep pit with this guide. The Atago, a ship we probably all started with, maybe because of the good stats and perks, or what's more likely, the skins. I don't judge you for that. Okay, maybe a little, but come on. There is really no other reason to pick her except for the skins. Takeo is anyway the better choice. I will not argue about this, but in the end we came all together here to see what I think about Atago and how she performs. Spoilers. Sadly good. But before we go any deeper into her, unfunny joke, check. Anyway, let's go over her history. The IJN Atago was a heavy cruiser from the Empire of Japan. She was one of the 4 sisters from the Takeo class, with the design of being the largest and most modern cruiser of the Japanese Navy, which they were for that time. She was commissioned in 1932. So long before the Second World War. I mean, they somehow needed to conquer the Chinese. Like already said, she is a Takeo class ship, but somehow is she 2 months older than actually Takeo herself. Most of her time, she spent providing Japanese forces help on invading other island, like the Philippines. She also had some bigger battle against some American ships, like the USS South Dakota and Washington. But let's not forget that she even was in a division with the best battle cruiser out there. Yeah, sorry, needed to put this in. Later in the war she had some important stuff to do, like engaging American carriers. To that she sorted with many ships. The mostly mentionable would be the Yamato, and we all knew what happened with the Yamato. In the end the Japanese were losing the war, until the IJN Atago had her final battle, where she was hit by 4 torpedoes from the USS Data, and that was the end of the Atago. But since we don't want to talk about her history all time, let's go into battle. Atago is one of the many ships that was already in the game since the beginning of the game, which made her a good pick in the first place for any new player, thinking that anything that has a good rarity must be incredibly good. What is this? Looks like I saw some trash. Anyway, getting Atago so early in the game shows a new player the best thing every out there, skins. And with that you made yourself from a ship a new waifu that needs love and care, even more than your real girlfriend. But what does Atago over except her totally family friendly skins and ambiguous lines? Well, surprisingly much. Even though she is one of the oldest ships in the game, she still brings something new to the table, and that is the exact same stats on all the Takeo class ships, which makes the only difference the perks and efficiency, except Chowkei, which thinks she needs to be special with her odd torpedo stat. So let's first start with her firepower. On that you've got a pretty solid place, having one of the highest damage outputs on paper, which also says own time the truth. Atago has pretty good damage, even to that you have skills that increase it even more. And even considering that she is a pretty old ship to that too. And let's not forget that she also has good reload. Next we have her torpedoes. Since the IJN's gimmick are the torps, you've won the 3rd place there. Having pretty good torps with her efficiency of 170% makes her torpedoes pretty deadly. She has slightly worse torps than Takeo, but for that you have the upper hand on the main gun with better efficiency. So an even trade, kinda. Now her health and evasion. HP wise she is pretty much in the upper average, but considering how many of the other ships are only obtainable through events make it still good. You've yourself over 3800 hit points, what is not that bad. To that you have a pretty good evasion stat at 33, which is in the upper top of cruisers, making this ship pretty tanky. But don't consider it as a tank. For that you've got the British light cruiser, or the German heavy ones. Lastly, we have her anti-air. The Japanese were never that good with AA. Even though they tried their best, you are pretty much at the bottom with that AA. The only ones that are worse are some other Japanese ships, and of course the German Deutschland class cruiser. After talking so much about her stats, let's finally see her perks. She has 3 perks in total. The first one is Arsonist. This perk is great if you are like me and hate anything with a massive HP pool. Your HE shells do 15% more damage, what is already pretty good, since HE is fucking broken in this game. To that the burn damage increase by 50% and you get more fires. To that too. Simply said, make everything burn that is in your way. The next perk would be double torpedo. Nothing unique. When you launch torps you've got a 30% chance to launch a second one. A pretty standard skill, but more damage is more damage. The last perk would be of course a barrage, which is helpful for her, since getting more fires to burn the world is perfect for Atago. Now we go over her equipment. For the main gun you absolutely want a HE gun. Otherwise you skip the first perk. What is the full gimmick of this ship? If you first started with the game, go with the twin 203mm mounted. It is a pretty good gun, even though it is easy to get, but if you already are well prepared, go with the twin 203mm prototype. It is pretty much the best pick. Even better DPS than the other one. There is also a better gun than that, but it is hard to obtain. So yeah, good luck with that. Next we have her torpedoes. For autoplay the Germans would probably be the best, so of course the quintuple homing torpedoes. But if you play manually anyway go with the 610mm quadruple torpedoes. Best stats overall, and great damage from every torp to that too. Almost lost the anti-air gun. For that you can choose pretty much anything, since the AA is a joke anyway. But if you want to squeeze out everything from this ship, go with the twin 113mm one. Or if you want something more Japanese, the twin 100mm high angle. Well, almost done. Now the auxiliary equipment. Atago has many ways how you can play her. I should stop with bad jokes, but you can either increase the damage output more, or increase the survivability. What would be my choice? For the first slot we want to increase the evasion. So for that we take an improved hydraulic rudder. If you don't have it, you can also take a SG radar. On the second slot you can choose between HP or more damage. If you want HP, take a repair toolkit. You get 500 more hit points and a small heal over time. Or you go for damage on the torps. Then of course you take an oxygen torpedo. But I doubt it is worth it for that damage in exchange for HP. So with that we finally finish the equipment. Now you know how to use the Ara Ara Atago, the best of the best cruisers out there. Well, when it comes to design. Until next time, in the meantime I'm gonna go back to playing some World of Mems. Robot voice out.